a lead developer at Clarifai, where I work on compute orchestration. If you don't know, Clarifai is a leader in computer vision. And more recently, we've gone from working on model deployment, auto-scaling, all sorts of things that make the journey from model development to production much easier and better. And that's going to be the focus of my talk. So I'll be showing you how to run a model on Clarifai. The first step in that is uploading the model. And we have a public repo, runners examples, where I have a example demo app I'll be showing. More on that later. I'll show you that this model that I have as an example will generate code via Clarifai, and it'll have code execution via the Daytona sandbox. I'll highlight some orchestration features we offer, and then I'll get on to showing another example where we run the model locally, actually on my laptop, and all the traffic is routed through Clarifai to generate code and also show model execution through sandboxes again. To touch upon this diagram, this is a high-level view of what's going on. So we have users that send requests to Clarifai through our API. And in the back end, if the requests are to a model, if the model's up, we'll hit the model and perform whatever actions it requires. In the case of my demo app, it'll be generating code and executing it in a sandbox. If there's no model up already, we handle for you deploying nodes if needed in the user's environment, whether that be their cloud clusters in VPCs, which we help provision, or on Clarifai's shared environment, or even the user's data centers if they already have hardware, as well as local runners, which could be like my laptop. Yeah, so let's dive into the code. So hop over to the repo here. Can you see that? OK, so this is the runners examples repo. I'm going to go into my. So this is example layout of a directory that we would upload as a model. I'm implementing in Python, so I have a requirements.txt file that has all the dependencies that we need. I have a config YAML file, which defines the Clarifai user ID and app ID to associate the model with. We have the resources needed for the model. So in this case, we're not using GPUs. This is a very lightweight LLM that we're going to be using. That LLM is Qwen2. We're going to download it from Hugging Face. And then the code, so actually we have a key here. There's a placeholder, Daytona key, that we're going to be reading in the model so that we can create sandboxes. The model code, the key functions are loading a model. So this is downloading it from Hugging Face and initializing the model. And then we have a function for generating code. I'm giving a prompt to generate raw Python code, which will be used to execute in the sandbox. We return that. And then the predict function handles calling that generate function to get the code from the user prompt, and then executing that code in a sandbox. So this is all it takes to really, I don't know, this is a good example, good basic example of what it takes to have a model and upload it onto Clarifai. I'll exit this, and I can show you on the terminal what that looks like. So I've already checked out the repo. I've set my parameters in the config YAML already. I can show you that. So those are all here. And then upload is as simple as running this command, Clarifai model upload Daytona code generator. You can start that. You can see it access Hugging Face to get the model. And so this will handle all of the container creation and upload to our servers. And agree with that. And while that's progressing, it may take a little while. I'll hop to our UI and go over some of the orchestration features we have. So I'll look under compute, deployments. So I have this. This is how our deployments look. We specify a model. We have support for multiple versions, so every time you iterate on it, you can have a new version and choose between them, or always choose to deploy the latest one. We have our config for specifying the resources. We have where we're going to deploy the model. In this case, we're deploying on Vultr, which is a cloud provider. We're going to use this instance type. We allow you to specify different instance types you want, and auto-scaling from 0. So if you don't have any requests to your model for a while, we can scale down to 0 to save you on cost. The same thing for the model itself. We can scale the model down to 0 instances and scale up as you get more demand and more requests. We have a bunch of parameters for how fast we scale up and how fast we scale down. Back to the terminal. So you can see the upload succeeded, and we can go and try the command line here. So let's do this. Both deprecated. Okay, I don't know about the error. Let's try predict request. So in this case, let's do, let's tell it to print some random numbers. So this is actually going to send the request through Clarifai, which the model wasn't up. It may take some time to bring up a node and run that. So in the meantime, I'll jump over to the local runner example. So this, to start a local runner, actually I need to set some environment variables. So let's do, so I set my Hugging Face token and my Clarifai pat token in the environment. And then I'll run, let's see, local runner. This will start the model on my local machine. And as that comes up, we can execute on that through the UI in our playground. So I showed on the Python code already, and now I can do the, okay, so it's asking me one more thing to back up some files. Okay, so now it should be starting. Meanwhile, I'll go find this local runner. So here, you can open that in Playground. So you can see it's looks like it's started. And you can say, yeah, so it prompts you here in the Playground, you can chat with your model. So we can try that as well. And because I just entered those environment variables to set this up, if you wanted to be like malicious, you could try to print out the different environment variables in the environment to leak information. So we can try seeing if we can do that. Print. So see that. But thanks to sandboxes, this shouldn't be possible. Okay, so we see that the request came through. It generated this code, import OS, print the OS environment. And okay, so this is in JSON, not pretty printed, but here we can see the code was generated to list all environment variables. And you can see that my Hugging Face token wasn't exposed, my Clarifai pat wasn't exposed, only the Daytona environment variables are there from the sandbox. And the sandbox was torn down, so there's no risk there. You can consider similar exploits are possible to try to open a reverse tunnel, for instance, or dump SSH keys. But none of that's possible because we have the sandboxes running. In the meantime, the requests through the API also finished, so that means a node must be up and handling these requests now. This is a positive case where we're just printing numbers and it looks like it succeeded. Printed 10 numbers out. yeah, so that wraps up my demo. I've shown that Clarifai and Daytona work well together, and I hope you can all see the possibilities as well. If you have any questions, yeah, let me know. Okay, that's it.
If you have any questions,